Tonight's episode requires clarity because a name can carry confusion, and confusion can carry or cause harm. A 78-year-old man in Tennessee was charged and later convicted of raping a 12-year-old child. His name was Russell Lee House. This episode is not about the domestic violence shelter in Memphis that shares a similar name. This is about a person, a crime, and why accuracy matters when we talk about violence against children. Well, tonight we bring you a deeply troubling case from Tennessee, a case that highlights both the harm done to a child and the responsibilities of reporting the truth carefully and accurately. According to local sources, a 78-year-old man from Gallatin, Tennessee, identified as Russell Lee House, was convicted of multiple child sexual abuse charges involving a 12-year-old victim. Because the story involves sensitive allegations and ongoing legal process, we focus on the verified facts, court documents, and the broader implements for victims and communities, not on speculations or rumors. Before we go ahead and get started and dive deep within the podcast, I am going to say that I do like to put this out here. The story is very, very touching. So I want to say it may be disturbing to some viewers because a lot of people have not covered this story. Even as I did my investigation and this fell into my lap, I've only seen maybe about two or three stories or two or three news segments that cover this story. So I feel that this story needs to be heard, and allegations have already been proven facts. And we're going to title this tonight as a 78-year-old convicted in child sexual abuse case, why accuracy and accountability matters. Okay? So let me say that one more time. A 78-year-old convicted in child sexual abuse case, why accuracy and accountability matters. This happened in Gallatin, Tennessee, not Gatlinburg. Because I was trying to be sure when I did this. I was like, wait a minute, the spelling kind of, a little off. But I don't want nobody to get this confused with the house that is in Memphis that serves the domestic violence cases, or should I say, aid in the domestic violence case. We don't want to get that confused with this guy named Russell Lee House. It just happened to be, his name is similar as this, but we're not putting anything onto this particular house in Memphis. We are strictly putting this onto a person that's did some things that wasn't very pleasant. But according to local court reports in Tennessee, a 78-year-old man named Russell Lee House was charged and convicted in connection with the rape of a 12-year-old child. These charges, I'm going to read off strictly what I see as court records. I'm not giving any fabrication story or anything of that matter. Look up the name once the podcast is over with, and you'll see. So the charges include rape of a child, sexual abuse by authority figure, statutory rape. A jury returned a guilty verdict after hearing evidence, including DNA evidence. Now, this was not an allegation. This was just simply the court's decision. Over here on TikTok, if you can do me a favor and share the live for me and tap the screen so we can stay in the FYP page and get ranked up to the top. If you know someone that's going through any type of sexual violence, domestic violence, or anything, and they just need an outlet, or they want to hear about this story, share this live to them. Do that for me. Share this live and keep us in the eyes, or keep us in the ears of the listeners. Now, I want to clear up some confusion. Let's be very clear. Russell Lee House, the shelter in Memphis, is a domestic safe house for women and children. It is not connected to the crime. It did not employ house protect or even enable this offender at all. Sharing a name does not mean sharing responsibility. When misinformation spreads, it damages the survivor's organization and the public trust. So we don't want to get that confused with anything that's affiliated with that. Clarity protects everyone, especially the victims. Now, I'm gonna be honest. I had some choice words about this, and I will later on. Thank you for spamming shorts. Thank you for the follow, Jess. I had some choice words, but there is a dangerous myth that elderly offenders are less capable of any harm. This case proves otherwise. We have a lot of speculations that's out there in the community or within public figures of that matter. And you think because they've done this and they've done that, then or they of this age or of this caliber, they're not capable of doing such things. I don't know where that prejudgment came from, but it's just always been a thing. Predators do not age out of accountability. Authority does not exit abuse, and children are never responsible for what adults do to them. A 12-year-old cannot consent. There is no gray area in this. What this did to a child. We will not describe the assault. We will describe the aftermath. A child forced to grow up too fast. We all know how that goes. And in my opinion, I definitely feel when kids have to raise children, listen to me clear, when kids have to raise children, a lot of times they grow up too fast. And when I say kids, I mean, like, for example, 14, 15-year-old trying to take care of a 7 and 8-year-old. Like, let's be realistic here. Like, I know that our parents and a lot of people that's before them parents that did such thing, but it never pans out good. You end up fighting for your life by the time you get a certain age or realize what's going on or what's truly affecting. Now, child sexual abuse doesn't end with a verdict. It follows the survivor into adulthood, relationships, mental health, self-worth, justice matter, being healed requires more. You know, I'm gonna read the story and read the findings of the story that I have came across, or that should I say that I've read, and I'm gonna pass on everything is already proven facts. This is not allegedly, but this is all facts to what Russell did. We're gonna just call him Russell. Is it safe to, is it safe to really call him Russell? Because I don't have time to give him the recognition of his name and pronounce his name more effectively than the way that it should be pronounced or said or whatever that nature is. Because I'm not in the business of correcting such a thing about these allegations. Well, I'm not gonna say allegation of these courts finding of messing with a 12-year-old child. Because what in your right mind possesses you to mess with a 12-year-old child? In my opinion, I feel like, as reading this story, I feel like a lot of the parents that was involved or whoever was involved failed this child. They failed this child. I'm just really being honest. I'm not gonna put the child name out there. We're not here to do that. We here to shed light on the situation. And this guy was 78 years old, messing with a child. You know, this case is not rare. This case is something that's been going on for decades, and a lot of the shit been covered up, suppressed. You're not allowed to talk about certain things because you want to protect the person that did it. Like, why is something that we want to do? I'm not really understanding. This case is not rare. What's rare is accountability. No one wants to hold a person accountable for their actions. No one believes in that. No one wants to talk about accountability. Why? Because you become the pie in the face person. You become the person that everybody say, hey, look at me. You become that person, you know? And nobody wants to become the pie in the face person, you know? Because it's like all eyes on me. If we being honest now, it's like all eyes is on me. Nobody wants to, do that. Many children or many child sexual abuse case never reach the courtroom. Never. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. You don't want to tell on Uncle Joe. Because Uncle Joe, he barbecues for the family. He the one that gathers up the liquor or clean up after every gathering. Let's be honest, Am I lying? Y'all talk back to me. Am I lying? He the one that nobody wants to deal with until it's time when you need him. You know? Many victims are never believed. And a lot of people be asking, why do we put certain things in certain position? Or why does these victims never come forward? What take them so long to come forward? Hell, I'm gonna be really honest as a victim myself. No one believes you because why you took too long to come out. And when you take too long, you deem as being a fucking liar because you didn't come out sooner or you didn't tell nobody. But who can you tell when nobody cares? Like seriously, who can you tell when nobody cares? Again, y'all always, when I say y'all, I mean in the community, there's always Uncle Joe looked over. Uncle Joe been playing with kids for 40 years. Your mama know he been playing with kids. Like let's be real. Your mama know he been playing with kids. Hell, your grandmama know. Your auntie know. A couple of your uncles know he been touching kids, and nobody's thought to, hey, hey, you know, nope, nobody him this person up. Nobody checked him. Like I was, I say about a couple of years ago, I heard about allegations that was in my family, and it was kind of like no, but the child never told anyone, and when she did, they call her a liar, and they separated her from all the rest of the people. To this day, she doesn't come and participate in family functions. I've been trying my best, but sometimes when you go through these situations, you closed off. And what they say, it's gonna take an army. It's gonna take you an army. What's up, Mr. Cool? Hey, Sean, how you doing? It's gonna take an army to really, get things out. Many offenders never charged. Why? Because the victims are never believed. Many cases never even reach the court. In my particular situation, my case, I'm going to say it never reached a court or even went to trial. And I'm in the process now of unlocking some things that's been closed as far as the case. Because I want to know. I was a kid. I didn't know anything. Things got drawn. I got pulled away and taken over to the opposite side of town. I wasn't allowed to participate in certain activities. But again, if you know in the family that Joe been touching kids for 30 years, your mama know he been touching kids for 45 years. Your grandma know he been touching kids for 50, 60 years, but it's the fact. It's the fact that he can barbecue when the family function is going on. You know, hey, cuz, how are you? It's the fact that he can do that. It's the fact when the family function over, he can clean up. Don't nobody clean up like Earl. Don't nobody fix the food like Bojangles. You know what I'm saying? Can't nobody gather people like Bob can. But at the same time, he been touching children for all these many years, and nobody said, I'm just gonna be real. In my family, and especially on my father's side, I am the whistleblower. Sure enough, I am the whistleblower. I don't play that. I don't play that. Just popping in to show love. I understand because I appreciate you. Take your time. Take your time. But I don't understand why everything have to be closed in. Why everything have to? We don't talk about that when we come around family and we all sit around and talk. We're not allowed to talk and say nothing on that note. And if you do now, you're an outcast. But for me, I stand on morals, I stand on principles, and I stand on my values. I have a destiny to fulfill. And if it means stepping on your damn toes to fulfill my destiny, that's what I'm going to do. Oh, I got a lot of people now mad with me now, again, because I am the whistleblower. They jealous of the fact that I have a platform and I'm going places and able to talk about certain things that people scared to talk about or even bring up or even mention. I'm not fearful of a thing. I'm not fearful of anything or no one at all. So if Joe been touching these kids for 40 years, guess what? Joe ain't, if I'm around, Joe not finna come around none of these children. I don't give a damn because Joe barbecuing, fixing food, doing a breakfast, a brunch after the family reunion. Nah, why we safe in this space? You know, we shouldn't be safe in this space. That's why cases like this matter, not the speculation, but for awareness and for prevention. Prevention. We need to prevent other kids, children, especially within the bloodline. And I'm going to read off the story, and you be the judge. I'm gonna read off the story that I this 78-year-old was messing with a child. I'm gonna read that off, and I want you guys to tell me, what you think. Are you a whistleblower, or are y'all just nosy? You know. But in Gallatin, Tennessee, not Gallenberg, in Gallatin, Tennessee, a man has been convicted of multiple child sexual abuse charges after a shocking case involving a 12-year-old girl. Russell Lee House, 78, was found guilty of 2 counts of rape of a child, 1 count of sexual battery by authority figure, and 1 count of statutory rape by authority figure after a jury trial. Prosecutors present or presented evidence that House raped and impregnated the child twice in her early 2000s. Now, hold on. Again, when I said that this is something nobody wants to talk about, because in the early 2000s, how can you impregnate a 12-year-old child? I want to know, what was the custodial parent at? What was the adult at? How did he get a hold to a 12-year-old child and impregnated her? Like, how did he get that opportunity? Like, seriously. Where were the people? Like, I got so many questions about this story. Police say the first incident took place in 2004 when the victim attended House's home for a sleepover with her siblings. After the first rape, House started grooming the victim, and the abuse continued for years until she became an adult and stopped all communication with him. Now, this thing set in my spirit when I was reading it. The first incident took place in 2004 when the victim attended the sleepover. So obviously, that this 78-year-old man knew this child. Like, I'm being real. This 78-year-old knew who this child was. They were comfortable enough. They was very comfortable enough. Like seriously. They were comfortable enough to let the child go over to his house. Now he had to be really close to the family, I'm assuming. Because who lets a 12-year-old go over to a man's house that's not even a kin to them? We got to start holding these parents accountable. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. We got to start holding whoever the custodian parent is, we definitely need to hold them close to the fire. This doesn't make any sense. And it make me question and wondering, did he touch any more of the other siblings? Where were the siblings when he began the allegation? You know, after the first rape, House started grooming the victim, and the abuse continued for years until she became an adult and stopped all communication. I couldn't imagine. Well, let me say I can't imagine. Now that I think about it, I was once a child myself in those same shoes, imagining this going on and continuing into the adulthood. Mine's in continuing to the adulthood. However, the aftermath did. You know, police added the victim became pregnant the first time at only 12 years old, and then again when she was 13. Russell was in his late 50s at that time. Like, are you really touching kids? You know, I don't understand. Give me 1 second. It looks like Facebook is having some issues. I'm not sure what the issue is on Facebook over here. I'm not clear, but police added the victim became pregnant the first time at only 12 years old, and then again when she was 13. House was in his late 50s. The Gallatin Police Department investigated the case after learning of the abuse in 2023. Now this is a 78-year-old man. At the time, he was 50 when he was touching this girl. DNA test confirming House was the father of the victim's children. That got to have been a tough pill to swallow. That got to have been a hard pill to swallow. Because where were the adults? Where were they? Were they present? They couldn't have been sleeping. She couldn't have been raising herself. Like, I got so many questions. I got so many questions. And then the DNA test confirming that he's the father of the children. So now we have a rape victim that's impregnated. This is sad. This is really sad. I'm not understanding this. You know, give me just a second, guys. I'm trying to figure out what is going on Facebook. Because I know it could be some real live haters on Facebook. It can be. Let's see. Okay. So the conviction would not have been possible without the bravery of the victims and the excellent investigation work of the Gallatin Police Department, Criminal Investigation Division, Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, and PTC Laboratories, which performed the DNA testing in this case. District Attorney General Dean said, "We're proud that we got this. We're proud. We're able to do what needs to be done." Judge Jennifer Nichols revoked his bond, and he will remain in jail until his sentencing on March the 23rd. He faces up to 62 years in prison and will require to register as a sex offender. I'm kind of leery or iffy or wondering, should this be, should he be put on the list to register? Should he? I think we had one case. I can't remember how many cases we had now, but he should definitely be able to be registered. He definitely should be able to be registered. Why was he even not on bond? That's what I'm saying. These people have failed this child. The people have failed the child. Definitely. We got to do better as a community. We got to do better. It's reaching out for us to do better, not for us to watch or put your phones out or want to be seen because you this and that. No, we got to do better. We got to do better. My heart goes out for the child that's maybe lost, for the child that's feeling some type of way, for the child who endured the pain, the anger, the frustration. My heart goes out to the child being finally convicted, which we already know he did it through DNA tests. This is in Gallatin, Tennessee now. He was 50-year old when he started messing with the child. And then he had the audacity, why you raping her, to impregnate her? Wow. Where's the love? And I'm wondering, do he have any children? Like wow. This is a story again that makes absolutely no sense to me. How close was Russell to the family? How close? That's what I want to know. How close were he to the family that he was able to do all these different sexual things to the child? Like, seriously. What were the parents? What was this child life prior to this? What was it? Are we just going to keep ignoring the fact that this happened? Or are we just going to talk about it? We have to normalize having uncomfortable situations, uncomfortable conversations. Because you don't want to talk about it. Somebody needs to hear it. Somebody needs to hear it. Somebody needs to feel what's going on. You know? Somebody. And it's very pivotal that we talk about this. Stop sweeping shit under the rug. When are we going to be leaders, speakers, prolific healers? When are we? When it's too late? When are we going to do that? You know, no one wants to have children in this manner, to have your innocence taken away from you. I was reading earlier when I looked in the comment section of one of the articles. One lady stated that that's why she feel abortion law need to be still put in place. And I disagree with that. I could see where she was going based upon the things that she was saying. I could see where she was going with that. You know, I could see that. I could see wholeheartedly where she was going with that. But what I cannot do is just allow the abortion thing just to go on like it's nothing. And I get she was trying to say in this situation it should have been an abortion. But I feel like if you make an adult decision to have unprotected sex, you know what comes along with that. We are all an adults here. All an adults. So recognize the choices and the decision that you made. And stand on them. Stand on them. Stand on the decisions that you made. You're not any different. You know, we all bleed the same. Very much so. Stand on your principles, your morals, and your values. And do that when it comes into children. And it don't necessarily have to be your child. It could be the neighborhood child as well. You know, because we are the community. Back in those days, the neighborhood used to watch the children, but they also used to allow shit happen to the children as well. I'm just being real. They allow it to happen. No one never questioned. No one ever spoke on it. It was all we hiding. What are we hiding and protecting the accuser for? What are we hiding him for? Why he needs more protection than the kid, than the child? What's wrong with that picture? You know, that's a problem. No kid should have to grow up in fear of speaking or being vocal about something that's happened to them. They're not allowed to talk about it. If you talk about it, you you deem to be this and you deem to be that. Why? I'm not understanding that. So let's hold one another accountable for the actions. Let's do that. No one said you couldn't. Who told you you couldn't be the whistleblower for the community? And a lot of times, we as people, we as a culture, we will sit there and stuff could be bothering us on the inside, and we could not be vocal on anything. What's wrong with that? We got to do better. Let's be the voice for the ones that can't talk, the ones who are vulnerable, the ones who can't speak, the ones who don't know how to speak. Let's call the popo. We coming to pick you up. We know what you did. And now that I'm thinking, I really feel like a lot of stuff can be handled within the community if we just put forth an effort to gather in the community. Hey Jay, thank you for sharing the live. If we gather in the community and we take care of our own. I definitely feel that. I definitely feel that 100%. If we can come together as a community and start taking care of our own crimes, I think we'll be like Dubai that don't have crime. I think we can go a little further in life. But for me, as this 78-year-old impregnating a 12-year-old child in Gatlin, Tennessee, I feel somebody should have handled his ass. Seriously. I mean, they should have Peter roll, fold him up. And I'm very interested in to see by him being found guilty of 2 counts of the rape of a child, 1 count of sexual battery by authority figure, and 1 count of statutory rape by authority figure after a jury trial. Prosecutors presented evidence that Russell raped and impregnated the child twice in the early 2000s. I'm interested in see what the court findings is going to be on this. Because really, I feel like it should just be simply one outlet, and that's the death penalty. I don't know all the laws within Tennessee. I don't know if execution is something that's in Tennessee. I can't quite remember. But I definitely feel like he should be executed. And I'm definitely going with the Green Mile with the dry sponge on top of the head. If we as a community can take care of our own crimes, I feel it could go a better way. But in this situation, at this time, he's 78 now. At this particular time when he was doing this, he was 50 years old. Why was he able to impregnate a 12-year-old child and then have 2 children by her? I know that child has to see the pain that she went through every time she looked at them children. Every single time. I want to know, what were the parents? What were the custodian parents? What are the people that were looking and watching over this child? And one of the documents, there was consistent there. So I don't know what is happening with this family. Like secrecy. And if they come up or change her, I'm not going to read her name. I'm not going to say her name at all. But what I will say, I'm really praying for that eventually she's able to get past all this. I'm hoping that mentally she's able to talk about it without having the nerves break down. Like I'm being really, really serious here. Because now my concern is, for me, her at this age, it's like she's now still a child mentally. Being a victim myself, it doesn't get any better. No, it doesn't get any better. It doesn't. And especially if you don't have a support system, and I'm assuming this happened to her at the age of 12, there wasn't no support system in the first place. There wasn't nobody supporting nothing. Everybody for themselves. Where were you? Like, how did you let this happen? And even in my situation, I think a lot of times parents get caught up in providing, to be honest. So sometimes they miss out on the real or the bigger issues. Sometimes they block out the bigger issue. They don't want to hear the bigger issue. All they know is work and provide for you. Hell, they don't even have emotional feelings themselves. They're not operating in safe space or giving out safe space cards. No, they're not doing it. But in these days and time, people want to put the phone out, pull the phone out. You want to record. Ooh, let me get this shot. This gonna be real good right here. How you doing, Gypsy Rose? It's gonna be real good right here. But nobody, my favorite line that I like to say that I came up with myself, what happened to the children when the children were children? Everybody's concerned about the adult. Nobody's concerned about the children. What happens to the children when the children were children? Nobody wasn't concerned about this child. Nobody had the best interest of the child. 12 years old. What do your womb know about carrying a baby? You know? And and to be honest, I'm pretty sure by now she got to be in her late 30s. I mean, early, like mid 30s. I can imagine of not being able. No, everybody wasn't like me. I found my strength from within, and my ancestors is guiding me on what I should do. If I'm being real about it, I found out what was spirituality. I found out all of that. That's how I found me. That's how I know who I am. Most people on this planet don't even know who they is. Yeah, they know work, home, fix food. That's it. That's it. And may give a little playtime with kids. May. If you're too tired, that shit out the window. That shit out the window. Because why? Everybody's in survivor mode. Everybody's in survivor mode. If we being real, nobody's protecting the children. Nobody's sheltering the children. Nobody's doing that. Or as they used to say back in the day from the South, every man for themselves, including the children. That was some shit I could just woo. Like, who came up with that? You know, this story touches me dear and is dear heart to me. As I begin to prep myself on what was I going to talk about, I begin to find myself in the child. Because when you go through things like this and then you get grown, a lot of times you're still in a child state of mind. Side note, if you can remember Michael Jackson, a lot of people couldn't understand what was Michael connection and then allegedly messing with children. Nobody could understand that. I knew what it was. Michael was a grown ass man, but still a kid in the inside. I'm just really being honest. He was a grown ass man, still a kid in the inside. He lost so much of his childhood to the point he came up with the Neverland. You know, and I'm gonna be honest. A lot of people that have been raped, molested, etc., they don't overcome. A lot of them become rapers themselves. And that's sad. If you can go back to the R. Kelly documentary, he even said it in there. He was fighting for his life. He even stated he was fighting mentally not to do the same thing. So on top of you fighting with your innocence being gone, now you got the urge to do what happened to you, but you're trying to fight it off. And a lot of people will say, hey, still to this day, none of that matters to me. I still listen to him. It's the same shit. It's the same shit. That makes sense. So I guess it would matter if it happened to your child. how would you feel if somebody would be on the accuser side? Like this all, it's the same thing, but it goes back to what I said at the beginning of the show, that a lot of times no one thinks that this person would do that. And now that we do know that this person would do that, we suppress what they really are simply because they have profile. Yep. They have profile. Nobody wants to deem R. Kelly. Don't get me wrong, the man is a genius. Or should I say was a genius. But for me, I have a problem with the actions. And somebody once told me, say, oh, well, you got to separate Robert from R. Kelly. How do you do that? If you piss on me and tell me it's RAINN and your name is Joe, so I supposed to say, this not Pissy Joe? Like, seriously? But you just pissed on me. So I'm supposed to look over that and then call you by your name and not Pissy? Like, make it make sense. If this happened to you, I'm here to support you. And I find it ironic that Black people still saying the same thing. I support this. You can't separate Robert from R. Kelly. You can't. Robert is R. Kelly. How the hell can you separate that? There's no separating in that. One may be an alter ego, you know. And when you make the choice to do that, that's when you say to yourself that I support everything that this person does. I can't even, to be honest, I can't even tell you when I even listened to an R. Kelly album. I can't even tell you when I have listened to him. When was the last time that I have listened to R. Kelly? How you doing, Crafts? I can't tell you when. Mm-mm. They don't get played on my radio. Nah, I'm good on that. But we are suppressed because why? His music is good. He wrote a lot of songs for a lot of people. How you doing tonight, Craft? If you could share the live for me one time, I greatly appreciate that. So a lot of us are not looking at the bigger picture. No, you're not looking at the bigger picture. You're looking at this is a musical genius. You can't find other people to listen to, you know. Oh, I can't. No, ain't nobody good as R. Kelly. I mean, he got some hits though, you know. I appreciate you coming in, Crafts. I appreciate that. He got some hits. And I just cannot listen to R. Kelly. I've been listening to R. Kelly for 30 something years. That boy, I done had 5 years off of R. Kelly. Listen to yourself. Listen to yourself. You sound like a damn fool. A damn fool. You can't dangle some over my head. I don't want that. You know? You can't do that. Not to me. So, in this same situation with Russell Lee House raping a child and impregnating her with 2 children, it's the same thing. A lot of y'all scare me and makes me worried because I feel like a lot of our people, when I say our people, I mean melanated beings. I feel like a lot of our people are clones, clowns, If I'm being honest, whichever the way the wind blows, you're unstable. And then I feel like some of the people, especially with this R. Kelly thing, I feel like some of the people are the people that told on the slaves when the slaves ran away. And guess what that means? I can't trust your ass. I'm a slave. You a slave. I done ran to get free. Here you are telling the folks I done ran away. You on their side. Or should some of them be like, oh, yeah, young nigga. Use this, you know? Listen to your heart. Listen to your good. Don't follow the crowd. Thank you for the likes, Crabs. Don't follow the crowd. And when you do certain things and you're in my close proximity, it makes me question who you is as a person. Because if you think that that's okay because they're a music genius, you a damn fool, your damn self. You know, I'm just being honest. Most people don't like be real. Again, like I said, I am a whistleblower. No, you don't get no pass on my clock or my watch. I don't get to suppress your feelings because you telling me you're sad. I don't care nothing about that. This is a child. You know, I remember when the allegations, or I'm gonna say not allegations, I'm saying when the rape happened to me, my mother made the choice of being involved or whatever, you know. Oh God, let me see one thing. I made the choice of I told my mother, if you wanted to participate with him, I got children's now. I get to make the choice. I get the choice to say whether or not they can participate and do things with you because there's something that you allow to happen. I would die and take myself to my grave or I allow something to happen to my children because what type of mother would I be if I support such things? I'm a woman first. I'm a mother second. You know, let's not fool ourselves. You know, this has been an amazing topic, and I do appreciate everyone. Even on YouTube, I see there's a lot of viewers on there. I'm not quite sure what is going on with Facebook. Maybe somebody reported me. I don't know. I'm not sure. But I do apologize in advance for any complications that happen over here on this side. I really do apologize for that. Thank you for the likes, Crafts. I appreciate that. I do. A child was raped. An adult was charged. And truth deserves to be told accurately. This episode is not about a name at all. It's not about a name whatsoever. It's about responsibility. If you are a survivor out there, help does exist. It does. If you're a parent, believe your children immediately. If you're a community protector, make sure y'all protect the vulnerability. Silence protects the predator. It does. And I think I need to say that again for the people that's in the back. Silence protects predators. Truth protects children. RAINN National Sexual Assault Hotline, they like to call it RAINN, RAINN. National Sexual Assault Hotline is 1-800-656-HOPE. Again, that is 1-800-656-HOPE. If you're somewhere out there listening to this podcast, and for whatever reason you're not able to get through to somebody, email me at phenomenalreflections with an S 2024 at gmail.com, and I will respond to you accordingly. No, I do not have any housing to house anyone, but I'm here to help you get through the process. Local children advocacy centers are all around. Emergency services are there if a child is in danger. With that being said, I am your host, Phenomenal Mindy. Thank you. If you haven't already followed me, make sure you follow me on TikTok at Phenomenal Mindy Podcast. Make sure you're following me on YouTube at Domestic Friday and Facebook as Phenomenal Mindy. With that being said, this is the end of the show. I hope I touch and enlighten somebody about the situation. And until then, until next time, see you on the next episode. Bye for now.